All right, everybody, welcome back. It's time for another deep dive, and today we're looking at something that has really been making waves
Yeah,
lately, and that is AI. And
absolutely.
specifically, how these new AI tools are impacting careers.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
really impacting our lives in a very sort of fundamental way.
yeah, and the big question that we want to try to get to the bottom of today is this a threat?
Right.
Is AI is it going to take away all of our jobs, or is it actually an opportunity to
hmm
grow and for new fields to be created?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the doomsday scenario that some people are, sort of
Yeah.
putting forward, or is it this massive opportunity that others are talking about?
Yeah.
And how do we figure out how to, ride that wave instead of getting crushed by it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we really want to dive into today. And we're looking at this through the lens of a discussion we found called AI Broke the Internet, how ChatGPT is rewriting careers and how to profit from it.
Yeah. That's a great starting point for this conversation.
Yeah, and I think what we want to try to do is give you some clarity on what's really happening here and what are some things that you can do
Yeah.
to make sure that you are benefiting from this and not being left behind.
Yeah, to kind of come up with your cheat code for the AI revolution.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think one of the first things that we need to sort of wrap our heads around is just how quickly and widely
Yeah.
AI is impacting things. Like it's not just a sort of fringe technology anymore. It's really
Yeah, it's everywhere.
it's everywhere, and it's moving incredibly quickly.
Yeah, and one of the examples that really struck me from the material that we looked at was just how much AI is changing content creation.
Oh, absolutely.
Things like
Yeah.
blog posts and scripts and even writing code.
Yeah, I mean the ability of AI to generate,
Yeah.
really high quality content in seconds
Yeah, it's incredible.
is really remarkable, and it's something that, 5 years ago we couldn't even have imagined.
Yeah, and another area where it's having a huge impact is customer service.
Oh yeah.
They were talking about how 80% of customer inquiries now are
Wow.
being handled by AI chatbots.
Yeah. I mean that's a huge number, and it really speaks to the power of AI to automate these tasks that, previously
Yeah.
required human intervention.
And I think, that's kind of where that fear comes in of like, oh my gosh,
Right.
my job is going to be taken over by a robot.
Yeah, and that's a very natural
Yeah.
response to this kind of change. But I think what's important is to remember that this is not necessarily about
Yeah.
jobs being lost. It's about jobs
Yeah.
evolving.
It's not job loss, it's job evolution.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about the nature of work changing.
Right.
And that's something that's always happened throughout history, with every new technological advancement.
Right.
The nature of work has changed.
Yeah. And it's not just that jobs are going to evolve, it's that new jobs are going to be created.
Exactly.
And they were talking about how the World Economic Forum predicts that there will be 97 million new jobs
Wow.
created by AI by 2025.
Yeah, that's a mind-boggling number, and it really highlights the fact that this is not just about,
Yeah.
some small shift. This is a fundamental transformation of the global economy.
Absolutely. And that really brings us back to that question of like, are you going to be ready for this? Are you going to be,
Right.
are you going to adapt and take advantage of these opportunities?
Yeah, it's not a question of if AI is going to change things. It's a question of how you're going to respond to that change,
Right.
and whether you're going to be, sort of left behind, or whether you're going to be, riding the wave.
Yeah. And to make this a little bit more concrete,
hmm
less abstract.
hmm
Let's look at an example of somebody who actually did this successfully. And they talked about a freelance writer named Sarah.
Okay.
And Sarah's story is really interesting because when ChatGPT first came out, she was, understandably
Right.
panicked.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people had that reaction. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this thing can do what I do,
Yeah.
but better and faster and cheaper. So
Right.
what am I going to do?
Yeah. And what's interesting is she didn't just, sit there and worry about it. She actually
Yeah.
took action, and she realized that, while AI could produce a lot of content quickly, it still needed that
Yeah.
human touch,
Yeah.
that human creativity and polish.
Right. It lacked that nuance and that sort of understanding of context and audience and all of those things that humans are still really good at.
And I think what's interesting is she actually had to market herself as an AI editor.
Right.
So it's not just about, having the skills, it's about
Mhm.
communicating that you have those
Yeah.
skills.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to be able to articulate your value proposition in this new world.
Yeah, so she became an AI editor, and what she was doing was taking AI generated content
Yeah.
and refining it and fact checking it and really making it,
Right.
sync.
Yeah, adding that human element that AI just can't quite replicate yet.
Yeah, and
Mm.
and and the results were pretty amazing. Her income actually increased by 200%.
Wow, that's incredible, and it really shows that there's a real market for this kind of skill set.
Yeah, and this idea of being an AI hybrid,
Mm.
somebody who can
Right.
use AI tools but also has that human expertise.
Right. It's about understanding both sides of the equation and being
Yeah.
able to bridge that gap.
Yeah, and Sarah's not alone. We're seeing this in a lot of different fields.
Yeah.
Developers are using AI to debug code much faster.
Yeah.
Marketers are using AI to automate A/B testing.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
we're even seeing new roles like AI ethicists emerging.
Yeah. That's a fascinating one because it really speaks to the ethical considerations that come along with AI.
Yeah, and I think, what this really shows is that the future is not about humans versus AI.
Right.
It's about humans and AI working together.
Yeah, it's about collaboration, not competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how can our listeners actually implement this? How can they
Yeah.
take advantage of this trend?
Well, I think the first step is to really focus on becoming that AI hybrid
Okay.
that we were talking about. And that involves a couple of things. First of all, it means, upskilling and learning how to use the relevant AI tools.
Yeah, and they mentioned some specific tools like ChatGPT.
Right, ChatGPT, Midjourney, Jasper.
Yeah.
These are all tools that are really powerful and can be incredibly helpful in a variety of different fields.
But it's not enough to just know how to use the tools.
Right.
You also have to have that human element.
Yeah. You have to be able to combine those tools with your own unique skills and expertise.
Right. So what are some of those uniquely human skills that we should be focusing on?
Well, things like emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
storytelling strategy.
Yeah.
These are all things that AI is still not very good at.
And they give a great example of like using AI to generate a bunch of blog titles,
Yeah.
but then using your own judgment to pick the one
Right.
that will actually resonate.
Exactly. Yeah, it's about using AI for the things that it's good at
Yeah.
and then using your own human brain for the things that it's not good at.
Yeah. And the second strategy that they talked about was solving AI's weak spots.
Right, because as powerful as AI is, it does have limitations.
It does. You mentioned earlier that 80% of customer inquiries are now handled by chatbots.
Yeah.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
But the material also touched on the fact that a lot of customers are getting frustrated with generic responses from chatbots.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Where do you see the biggest gap between what AI can do and what humans are still really good at in customer service?
Well, I think one of the big things is building trust.
Yeah.
AI is not very good at building trust with customers.
Right.
It can provide information,
Yeah.
it can answer questions, but it can't really connect with people on an emotional level.
Yeah, and that's so important in customer service.
Absolutely. Yeah, and another area where AI struggles is negotiation.
Right.
Negotiation requires a lot of nuance,
Yeah.
a lot of understanding of human psychology,
Yeah.
a lot of creativity, and AI is just not quite there yet.
And maybe the most important thing is ethics.
Yeah,
AI doesn't really have a sense of ethics.
right.
It can't make moral judgments.
Yeah.
It can't really understand the complexities of the real world.
Yeah, and so this is where humans can really add value by being that bridge between the raw capability of AI and the complexities of the real world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can be the ones who make sure that AI is used ethically
Right.
and that it's used in a way that benefits humanity. Yeah. And I love the way they put this. They said, I don't just use AI, I make it human.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Yeah. And the third strategy that they talked about was building AI-powered side hustles.
Yeah. So not just using AI in your existing job,
Right.
but actually creating new opportunities using AI.
Right. So what are some examples of those kinds of side hustles?
Well, one example is creating a niche newsletter,
Yeah.
where you use AI to help you curate content,
Yeah.
but then you add your own human insights and analysis.
Right.
Another example is selling custom ChatGPT prompts.
Oh, that's interesting.
There are a lot of people out there who want to use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They don't know how to write effective prompts.
Right.
So you can create these prompts that are tailored to specific industries or specific tasks.
Yeah, and sell them to people.
Exactly.
And another interesting idea is offering AI audits to businesses.
Yeah, helping businesses figure out how they can use AI
Yeah.
to optimize their operations.
Yeah, and one stat that really jumped out at me was that Gartner predicts that 30% of outbound marketing messages
Wow.
will be AI generated by 2025.
Yeah, that's a huge number, and it really shows that AI is going to be a major force in marketing in the years to come.
Yeah, and so, I think it's natural to feel a little bit apprehensive about all of this.
Right.
It's a lot of change.
It is. It's a lot of
Huh.
change, and it's happening very quickly.
Yeah. And I'll admit, when I first heard about AI being used for script writing, I had a moment of like, oh
Yeah.
gosh, what does this mean for my job?
Right.
But I think what's important is to remember that, AI is a tool.
It is. It's a tool, and it's up to us how we use it.
Yeah, and our value as humans doesn't come from,
Yeah,
being able to do the same things that a machine can do.
right. Our value comes from our creativity,
Yeah,
our empathy, our ability to connect with other human beings,
right.
our ability to think critically and solve problems.
And I think, one of the most important skills that we can develop is adaptability.
Absolutely.
The ability to learn new things.
Yeah.
To change with the times.
To embrace change.
Yeah, because the people who are going to thrive in this new world are the people who are
Yeah.
adaptable, who are willing to learn, who are
Who are curious.
Yeah.
Who are willing to experiment.
and I think, the discussion really made a clear distinction between the people who are afraid of AI
Right.
and the people who are excited about AI.
Yeah, the people who are seeing it as a threat versus the people who are seeing it as an opportunity.
Exactly. And the people who are excited about it are the ones who are gonna
Yeah.
win.
They're the ones who are going to shape the future.
Yeah. So the call to action here is clear. Master the tools.
Mhm.
Be diligent.
Yeah,
Outwork the competition and focus on your human strengths.
exactly. Yeah, and don't be afraid to experiment.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail, because that's how you learn.
Yeah, and I think, our goal with this whole deep dive has been to empower you to view this as an opportunity.
Yeah, to take control of your own destiny.
Exactly. And on that note, I want to leave you with a final thought.
Okay.
As AI becomes more and more sophisticated,
Yeah.
what aspects of human interaction and creativity do you think will become even more valuable?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's something to think about.
It is. It's something to really ponder.
And I think, the future belongs to the people who embrace this change, who use AI intelligently.
Exactly. Yeah. The future is not predetermined. It's something that we are all creating together.
Yeah, so go out there, be curious. Explore the possibilities, and remember,
Yeah.
the future doesn't just belong to artificial intelligence. It belongs to the people who learn how to use it intelligently.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.